welcome to The Wellness Warrior, a podcast series by the Mindful Village, a community by Emerge Performance. In this series, we will be interviewing professionals across various industries on how mental wellness builds resilience. And we hear from their personal stories of how they strive to be the wellness warrior they are today. I am your co-host, EP's lead strategist, coach and consultant, KK. And today I have with us our host, Han Yi, sports psychologist, human capital consultant, and fellow wellness warrior here at EP.
Thank you, KK. Very excited to be co-hosting this podcast together with you, KK. And also, more importantly, today we have our guest, Kyryl Daud, right? The community manager for the therapists and the counselors at Safe Space. Maybe I'll just invite you to introduce yourself and we can get the conversations going.
Sure. Hi, Hani and KK. Thanks for inviting me. So my name is Kai. My full name is Kyryl Daud. You can call me Kai. So I'm the therapist community manager at Safe Space. Probably a little bit more background information about the role. Basically, just like the name itself, I manage the therapist community over here on the platform, going through from when they start at Safe Space up until the end of their stay in Safe Space, looking through from the recruitment and also managing their stay over here on our platform, basically being their voice and also kind of their support system over here on the platform. So yeah, nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, that's great. So what I'm hearing is your job is really helping the therapists and counselors do their job well and set them up for success.
Correct. So basically, they are the experts. I'm the one at the back, making sure that the onboarding process or the recruitment process for them goes well, and then making sure that they are able to use our mental health platform well. If they have any questions about how they manage certain systems or whatsoever, if they have any questions about basically anything under the sun, right? If they needed help, so they will look out for me. I'm basically their right hand man, helping them throughout. Yeah.
Oh wow! So like you're almost like you're almost like taking care of them, of the caregivers. That sounds very important. So what's the normal day in the life for you?
So much like counseling, right? It's quite dynamic. So even the certain kind of conversations I have with therapists are quite dynamic. So from day to day, most of the time is basically replying to text messages from them, replying to their emails, of certain requests, of certain questions that they have. Hey, Kai, I have a question regarding this client. Or Kai, how do I get my bank details updated, for example? That's such a simple request, but we do have a lot of these coming in. And then, oh, hi Kai, I want to do more for my services. I want to do workshops. I want to do webinars. How do I do that? So basically, I'm the one helping them, get more out of their time over here on the platform, as well as basically just really taking good care of them. I really hope I take good care of them. Because we do have quite a number of therapists on the platform, which is really, I would say impressive, because we kind of started with about when I first started, we have about 40 therapists on the platform. This is in August of 2021. So now we are close to 350. So
wow.
a little over about a year and a half. So we grew quite a bit. So yeah, and our therapist comes from not just from Singapore. We do have in Malaysia, we do have in Australia, India, and all that. So it does take quite a bit to manage therapists from abroad. Different questions that you get on a daily basis. Very interesting.
What are some of the common needs that they have to be able to do their job well as therapists and counselors?
You need because we do everything remotely, right? Because of COVID and everything. So what they need in terms of doing the job well is a strong platform, which thank goodness we do have a strong platform. But then they also need efficient communication, because it's something that they work remotely, so they need enough information to be able to use our digital platform in order to conduct counseling sessions. So it's always questions on how do I see my clients, what more information can I get from my clients, can I actually how do I talk to them, etc. So that's really a bulk of the questions. And then things about payment, and things about or maybe even requests from us, like requests for a certain kind of webinars that they want to do, workshops, etc. So yeah, so a lot of these conversations going on a daily basis.
Wow, that sounds like a very busy day. So, like, I can imagine your day can be really busy with a lot of questions, left, right, center. So, how do you maintain your, mental wellness and well-being? How do you de-stress?
I mean, I really try. So for me, I think trying to understand what mental wellness first, it was quite important for me. Because for me, the definition of mental wellness is being at peace. So the reason I say this, because within the word peace is that, the whole world around you can actually be chaotic, but importantly, being at peace with yourself is making sure that you are able to ride through that journey, even though like everything around you is in chaos. That to me is being at peace. So that's very important to me. It's really different from when I was actually a lot younger, or a little bit younger. Because when I was in like late teens, or within the age of 16, 17, 18, and then to the mid 20s, around maybe 25 to 27, for me personally, I don't have a lot of filter towards what's incoming towards my life. Like whatever that's going on, like relationship issues, like family issues, any kind of worries, any kind of anxieties, even problems with other people, even even like toxic habits of over caring, overworking, even to a point like over promising what I can do. Basically, at the end of the day, I wear myself out. So, sometimes even issues I shouldn't be in, because I was so addicted to the idea of, if there's not much sound in my life, I'm not truly living. Yeah, so it was really a mindset thing. And I pegged the idea of chaos, or really a lot of working, with breathing. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not living enough, that kind of thing. So I'm saying this I'm not to tell people that you go and avoid your problems. You just make sure you're at peace. You don't care about all the things that are going on. For me, it's throughout the years you kind of learn to actually put a bit of barrier between yourself and what's going on in your life. It took quite a bit to learn. I'm 29 now, so it took quite a bit to learn, quite a number of years. For some people to also tell me, you gotta stop and put certain boundaries. That's how you really, learn about your definition of mental wellness, which is peace. So I think for me, back to your question is, we need to kind of take a step back, and then you can actually, use the opportunity to do a full analysis of the issues and all the things that actually concern you. And then And because basically that's what I did. So I took a step back and analyzed all the things that are happening in my life, whatever family issues, whatever relationship issues, and then really look at the things that are actually beyond my control. Some things are truly beyond my control, and these are the things that I don't have capability of solving. So I focus on the things that I can solve, and then I can get back to my peace. Yeah, so basically that's pretty much what I do. Is really focusing on having boundaries. Yeah.
I think that's very inspiring, and it's very convincing, especially it comes from, caretaker of the caretakers like you. Yeah, so would you mind to share with us a bit more? I mean, that realization to be more mindful of boundaries, that's very powerful. Would it be okay if you share with us what's the thing that what's the turning point in your life that gave you that realization?
So I did have I didn't think I was at the stage of burnout, but I think I was really close to burnout. So this was like 2 years ago, around there. So like I said, I didn't have a healthy habit of setting boundaries. So, and before working at Safe Space, I was also in another role, basically also being at the front line of helping people. So I was really in a position of truly helping people for quite a number of years. More so on the customer service line. So basically what my roles were all in a position where I simply need to care. And I'm kind of paid to care about people. But when it comes to like an incident like 2 years ago, I was almost close to burnout, and I couldn't I don't see an end to it. I don't see that if there's any period of potential time where I can actually rest from my duties and all that. So that was really a turning point, because you kind of feel stuck at where you are. I'm not gonna advocate counseling to everyone, but from my personal experience, it does help a little bit. It does help. It was, to me, it was a turning point, because I went through a couple of sessions of counseling, and then it kind of a change of mindset, which truly helped. Because I was at that point of time, I was really having a lot of panic attacks. I was waking up during my sleep, having panic attacks. It was to a point where I don't feel or I don't have the energy to actually go to work, because it was super tiring having to always wake up in the middle of the night. That's when I kind of go for some sort of counseling, just for a short bit, just to kind of clear my mind. Actually, interestingly, I went for counseling without the intention of seeking help. I went for counseling for the intention of just sharing what I'm going through. I just wanted someone to hear me out. Yeah. So that's where I kind of learned that I don't have any boundaries. I don't have any filter. I open all my doors to everyone. I open all my doors to all my problems. And I kind of fail in analyzing what are the things that I can do. And I kind of fail in analyzing what are my limits. Yeah, so I think that is very important as a care professional, which to be honest, I did not forget, but I just do not know. Because as a care professional, you wanna help as much as you can. You wanna be there as much as you can. You wanna do your best. You wanna be someone that reliable, which you can, but you gotta know what's your limit. What's the degree of care that you can. Yeah, so there was that incident where it was a very quite a number of months, where I went through for counseling and all that. And I'm still learning today. I'm still learning about boundaries, understanding about the things I can or cannot do, which is great because I don't rush into things so much as I did before. Like learning about putting things in between me and the issues, putting me in between me and the things that I needed to do. Yeah, so that has been helpful.
Wow, I'm sure it will be what you said about learning about boundaries. I'm sure it will be a lifelong journey, not just for you, but for a lot of us. So I'm also curious if you can share with us. So after having that realization of boundaries for your better mental health and well-being, how does that then translate to when you're back to your work or in life? What are some of the changes after realizing that, having that mindset?
I think the first thing I really needed to do, right when I was actually going through counseling sessions, but maybe even when I stopped going for counseling sessions for a bit, the things that I needed to do, that felt right to me was really taking a break. So take a break when you need to, because that's what I did. And I remember, to be honest, I actually remember visiting this one particular counselor at his office. And then it was just a drop by because I really wanted to say hi to this therapist. But unfortunately, I caught him at the wrong time. So so he left, so he exited the room that he was in and he was burnt red, like his face was so red. And then he was very startled seeing me because he thought that I was another client of his. And then he said that, oh my God, I thought you were another client of mine because I really needed a break. That session that I did was very intense. I couldn't talk to anybody else. So you see, even someone that is technically very obvious, his role is to care, is to listen. He needed a break. So he knew he needed a break. So for me, um, how the things I went through and how I apply it is knowing when you needed a break. So I think that was very important. So and then how I continue adapting from that is that you learn when it is enough or when it is overwhelming. You owe yourself that amount of care. You deserve the care. I think that's the part where a lot of people kind of struggle. I don't know if Han or KK, you guys can relate to this. Sometimes you feel that you don't deserve the amount of care or the amount of rest, right? You keep going on and going on and going on, and then you say, oh, I can do that. I can do this. I can take another assignment, or I can help you with this. I can help you do this, that kind of thing. Sometimes you forget that you deserve the amount of space, you deserve the amount of rest. You just feel that you can push yourself further, which is not a bad thing, because sometimes pushing yourself, you would know your limits as well. But at certain age, you would know yourself pretty much more than anybody else. And that's pretty much what I did. On a if you wanna some tips on how I kind of take a break or whatsoever, it's really on a given day, on a work day itself, move out from your workspace. Really go for a walk. Or go get that tea or coffee that you really wanted to. It doesn't have to be a homemade coffee. If you really wanted an excuse to just go and get coffee, just go get it. Because the walk to the whatever, any coffee place, any Starbucks, a coffee bean or whatever, that could be your rest time. It's an active rest, but it's your rest time. And travel if you want to. But that's what I did. I did travel a little bit. Last year, especially after COVID. COVID was a very stressful time. So travel a little bit last year, and then travel a little bit at the start of this year as well. And I talked about deserving, right? So I felt I was deserving of a break,
Mm.
going to travel and all that. So that's what I did. Uh, you're worthy of experiences, you know. So don't owe yourself too much. You know, you've done a lot also. You've done enough. And I needed to travel. I needed to have a break because uh, back at the definition of mental wellness, right? It was to feel at peace. You know, I gotta feel at peace first in order to kind of function back in my not just my work but also my personal life. You know, and what I learned is that feeling at peace is also not at 100% all the time. You know, you can't feel at peace 100% all the time, but you gotta take what's given. You know, I mean, the car still have to go on, right? Even if it's like 50% fuel, and then you gotta refuel later on. That's pretty much what I did.
Thank
I don't
you.
know
Thank
about
you.
you.
Thanks for sharing your personal journey. Has been so rich and so much nuggets of wisdom there. And being so open about it. Really appreciating this. Um, if I can use this sort of just setting boundaries, giving yourself permission to rest, and all of those, right? And so what is there anything you can say to about how the state of mental well-being, even with the caregivers that you're working with?
So the caregivers that we have on our platform, so they are advocates for stress and burnout, and these are also some things that they themselves do experience, right? Um, and they do, and interestingly, therapists, quite a number of the therapists that we have on our platform, they do know when to take a break. They do know, and they are. I think one of the things I also learned from them is that don't be afraid to tell people that you need a break, which I really love because I think the Singapore context and also the Asian context is that you gotta always work. You know, work shows that you are worthy to be in the position that you are. You are, basically reliable, responsible, all that. But don't be afraid to kind of tell someone that you need a break. So we've got quite a number of therapists saying, "Hey Kai, I'm not gonna." I mean, I'm not advocating for everyone. Everyone works in a different place, works in a different environment, for different companies. Sometimes, but for this, sometimes therapists they'll be like, Kai, I don't wish to work on the next 2 weeks. I need a break. I don't wish to work on certain periods of the day because that's my time for my family. So these are some of the things that you learn from them. And I'm not saying that all of the counselors and all that they don't experience burnout, they don't experience stress. They do, unfortunately, because much like other care professionals, like you see, like nurses, doctors, like frontliners, they do experience all of this, sadly. But from my own experience, from my own from what I've seen, yeah, you gotta choose when to know you've reached your limit. Yeah. And I think that's amazing because you gotta feel self-full before you help other people. You cannot pour from an empty cup, right? Yeah.
You take care of yourself, you're refilled so that you can then better support the well-being of someone else as
Yeah,
well. So you come from
definitely.
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. And do you
The
have any kind of because you're a coach yourself, right? Do you have any kind of practice that you do in terms of mental wellness?
So I'm a mindfulness instructor and a practitioner myself. So I have a daily practice where I meditate or I just take a few quiet breaths with myself. And
Right.
sort of developing that as a habit, right? But I think to your point, well, there are many different approaches, right? So actually, some people use aromatherapy, some people exercise and all that. So, but I think one thing, as you say, right, which really spoke is about giving ourselves the permission. And because you say the context is how we are in a situation where sometimes like we are expected to work. We shouldn't be taking breaks. We shouldn't be resting because then we won't be working. So I think I think that's something that's very important that we need to acknowledge first, right? So yeah. So we give ourselves permission, then there's a lot of different places and opportunities and ways to take better care of ourselves. Those are my
Yeah,
thoughts. Yeah. How about you,
yeah,
KK?
that's very good.
How do you take care of yourself?
So how do I take care of myself? It's if you so Honey is our like founder slash boss. So if Honey, you realize I actually have set up a status, which is called Wellness Hour. So on the internal chats, once I turn on Wellness Hour, all of the chats and emails are muted.
No wonder. Blackout,
So
So it's like
yeah,
do not disturb KK at this hour.
yes, and I'm very transparent over it as well. I share with my team, oh, it's my wellness hour. I share with them my personal endeavors. I want to make sure I do exercise. So this is the time, wellness hour, that I am going to be away and you can't reach me. So I'm very transparent about it so people will know. And people will know how to respect that space when I'm in that wellness hour. So that's how I take care of myself. Almost every other 2 days, there's a wellness hour blocked.
Is it just
Yeah,
1 hour?
correct.
How long should that hour be or that duration be?
So everyone have a different habit. Whenever I'm on my wellness hour journey, it's a 2 hour thing, spans over lunchtime. But I think coming forward with working from home and hybrid work becoming more and more accepted, I think having a 2 hour wellness, hour getaway during the day, it's not like, oh my God, you're away for 2 hours. It's not as devastating because with flexi work and with the focus more on productivity rather than how long are you sitting in front of your computer, I feel that concept should be more widely accepted in the wider world.
Yeah, I think in terms of I like what you said in terms of transparency. I feel that it's getting a bit more accepted in the workplace. So sometimes you would see colleagues uh putting in Slack notifications as spaghetti, so they're on lunch, or like a massage emoji, so they're really on break. And then sometimes you see a calendar when you want to book someone, but you see on the calendar, oh, they're going for Zumba actually. So these are really more widely accepted, and I feel really good being in a company that actually is pretty much more open to mental wellness. Mental wellness, like I said, that's my definition of mental wellness, which is at peace, and then going for travel, taking a walk and everything. For other people, it's different. Yeah. And also do not be afraid to have conversations and kind of share with people around you, what they do, so that it becomes the norm. Mental wellness becomes the norm, which is great.
And I think
Yeah.
it also, like, adding on to what you're saying, like people being more transparent about it, is that it feels like the people you work with are people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes them feel they're just another normal person. They're not, if you're a CEO, it doesn't mean that you're just a working machine, right? So
Right.
it makes them more like human. It kind of also enhances bonding as well. So I think that transparency and how it should be more widely spoken about is actually has other rippling benefits.
Yeah, that's true. When you see someone, going for trekking or whatever, hey, can I join you?
Bonding, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
I think the connection piece is a very important ingredient to well-being, right? So being alone versus being in a group, the social connections, the relationships are tremendous. And I mean, you know how some people say that we are so digitally connected, but we have never been so disconnected, right? So it's not, I mean, we have all these avenues, resources, platforms, but yet that human touch is still the important area that sort of enables us to be, as you say, to be at peace, or to do what we need to do to take better care of ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, true. And we are in a company that, promotes mental health and all that. And it'll be very it'll be wasteful, a missed opportunity if we ourselves don't kind of advocate it. We ourselves don't do it. It's really wasteful because I think there's a lot of things that can be done outside. There's more to, you focus a lot more on your physical health, mental health, and then it eventually translates back to how you perform at work. That's my belief. Yeah.
So speaking of workplace, right? So I mean, coming back to your working environment, safe space is clearly growing rapidly, at least for the number of therapists and counselors coming under your purview. And anything that you all do from colleague to colleague, employee, I mean, to help each other, to be able to do their job well, or just to be well and take better care of each other.
Of course. So, the normal one-to-one conversations with your team leads, and it's usually very casual, is really checking in on how's everyone doing, how's the workload is like. So that's more from the top to down, in terms of helping the employees. So we have that. And then we do have wind down Fridays. So wind down Fridays are very fun. So it's really at the last hour of the week where we just join in a call because we do work mostly hybrid. So we join in a call just to play games, just to chit chat before we truly wind down for the weekend.
Oh, I see.
And yeah, so that's pretty fun. And then we do quite a bit of activities outside of work. So we've done dance classes, we've done yoga classes outside of work, and yeah, like I said, like what KK said also, it's about bonding, right? So we choose an activity where everyone can kind of bond and have a lot of fun. That's what we do. And for me, myself, with the therapists that I manage, we do catch-up sessions once every 3 months just to check in on how everybody's doing, how they're doing with the clients, how also share more information about safe space with them and see, if they have any concerns, basically learning or understanding from their point of view, if they have any feedback or whatsoever. We do host, we actually just hosted an event, a Halloween event no, not Halloween, sorry, a Christmas event last December. Yeah, so we hosted a Christmas event just to get everyone together and unwind at the end of the year and all that. So, but for my role, it's really more on being there on a day-to-day basis. So any therapist that needs someone to talk to, someone to share or to ask any questions, I have to be there. I'm happy to be there to listen to what they have to say. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kai, for joining us today and sharing not only your own journey, but also the work and making the difference and supporting other therapists and other caregivers and counselors. Any final suggestions or tips to other caregivers as well on how they can make sure they take better care of themselves before, yeah.
All right, of course. I would say, I mean, just re-highlighting my points and taking a break, knowing when to stop and all that. But also one of the things I do remind myself from time to time is when you're almost feeling that you cannot go on, or you feel that it's too tough, it's too much work, or whatsoever that's going on in your life, take a moment to say a few words of or just say thanks and say words of gratification, saying thank you that you have you're able, well-bodied to be in the position that you are, being in a position that you can help, being in a position that you can actually make a change in someone else's life. Be thankful that you are one of the few chosen ones that is able to do it. That's one of the things that I do with myself. And then you kind of relax, and then you go on again with your life, and think again, what are the things that you can change, you change. Because I feel that being grateful really helps a lot. Not everybody can be in a position like this, helping other people and all that. So to me, that is itself a privilege.
Wow, that is very, very powerful as well as very touching as well. Thank you so much today, Kai, for talking with us and sharing with us about your very inspiring personal stories, realizing the need of boundaries, letting ourselves to take a rest, not to push ourselves, but in a very unhealthy manner, as well as your tip to being thankful and grateful. I will echo that to all our listeners here today. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. The fact that you're listening is making me very happy, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much to be here with us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.